What's up, DBs? Coach D Magic here, former D1 defensive back. Super excited about this video because we're going to go over Canadian football one-on-ones and live reps. All right. So one thing about Canada football is the field is different. The rules are different. Look at all this space in the end zone. It's a ton of space in the end zone. And I know they play with more players. I think it might be 12 players. And then the receivers get a running head start. So similar to arena football, if you're familiar with arena football. So this league, I think, is a DB league, but it's far more difficult in my opinion because two elements, right? They can get a running head start. Imagine Tyreek Hill getting a running head start. Imagine Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill getting a running head start. And the field is bigger. And you can't touch receivers, right? So, man, this is a different league. And like I said, with all those rules, if you can make plays as a DB, then you're definitely one of them ones, okay? So, even though it's different rules, different field, the techniques still apply, all right? You're going to tweak some things. I would say in arena football, you're playing from your pedal a lot more. You rarely want to be in a crossover run in arena football and in Canadian football, unless you're in certain coverages. But let's take a look at what's going on, and I'll try to compare and contrast the techniques for a Canadian football DB and an American football 11-on-11 DB. So one-on-ones, okay? There is a ton of space. So and the goalpost is in the way here. So it's the leverages are different, okay? So he's going to be inside leverage in one-on-ones. Usually, I would say, hey, if we're playing in American football, I would be outside leverage in the slot. But there's a ton of space to the inside, and this is a cover zero situation, so I understand why he's inside here. Now, where's the ball? You move this up here. Where's the ball, okay? So the ball is on the 5-yard line. He's splitting the difference. So depending on where you're being taught, you can be in front of the goal line playing like a cliff technique, or you can split the difference, and we're looking to catch. At the end of the day, we're looking to catch. Stay square as the receiver's moving, all right, as this play's going. You want to have some type of foot fire. Okay, it can be a leverage step or a read step, so a small outside step, okay? But you want to have your feet hot. You don't want to be flat-footed, having dead feet. Dead feet don't eat. And now, right here, we got to be able to read the departure of the receiver, all right? So he is working to the outside to our right. So we want to step replace, all right, at a high angle, not this way, but at an angle to cut him off and get contact before the goal line. So in regular American football, same rules apply. Stay square, leverage, read step, kick step, and we want to make contact before the goal line. All right, collision and carry the receiver into the end zone. Now we're fighting pressure with pressure. We got to read the lean. All right, he's leaning right to go left. He's leaning in to go out. So we got to lean with him, fight pressure with pressure. So when he breaks, we can use his momentum to stay in phase. Now, look at all this space to the sideline. Sorry. So the quarterback is going to try to throw it outside and away from us, but he can also fade it up to the corner. So you really got to stay disciplined with your eyes, continue to drive, close space. And now once we're hip to hip, we can try to play the ball. And like I said, he's trying to throw it away from the receiver, and our pressure makes it difficult for the receiver to get to the ball. Great play in one-on-ones. Again, more space, running head start. I would say it's more difficult than American football. Let me know your thoughts. Next play. All right, so we're in let me count the players because I really don't know. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So they play with 12 players. All right, so we're going to pay attention to the DB here. Gets an interception. All right, so how did he get that interception? Now, this is key when it comes to being a DB, but this is especially key when it comes to being a safety. So These two guys are going to rock and roll. What does that mean? Okay, so I go from this guy having this man, this guy having this man, and this guy having this man. All right, so instead of him motioning over, we're going to rock and roll. So when this number 3 receiver motions over, all right, see how, I know it's a little grainy, but see how he points? He's pointing to this guy. All right, bump. So you go from being the middle field safety to playing man coverage on the new number 3 to your side. I go from being man on number 3 to bumping to the middle of the field. Stand in the back pedal, make sure you have depth. Now, he's going to read the quarterback, okay? So if we're looking at the quarterback, I want you guys to only look at the quarterback. What does the quarterback do? Gets the ball up right now. Doesn't take a drop, turns, ball up right now. So you want to be able to tempo your speed and your pedal based on the drop of the quarterback. So if he's showing quick game right now, and if we look, it looks like they're trying to set up a screen initially, all right? Quick game screen. He can't take a drop and then throw a screen here. He can take a drop and throw it to the running back, but it's got to be quick and out. So watch as he shows us quick game. Watch what the DB does with this pedal. Smooth pedal. See how he starts to throttle down. Pedal, and he throttles down. So you don't want to be in a fast pedal when the quarterback is showing quick game. Throttle down your pedal. So tempo pedal. Fast, slow, all right? And we still have depth. We're still deeper than the deepest, and that's key here because we have depth. He's 15 yards at the snap. So we have enough depth to do this technique. If you get caught short, then you're not really going to have time to read this. You might as well just get deep, all right? So even though the quarterback's going to pump fake, we throttle down our pedal, but we absolutely do not go on the throw unless we see the throw. All right. So like we don't go until we literally see the ball thrown because we're not driving on a quick screen. We're not driving on quick game unless it's up the seam. All right. And he's looking like he's throwing to the far out receiver. So he can drive, especially this corner or whoever has flat responsibility. All right. Or if they're a man. All right. If you see a block trigger. But these guys are the quick trigger. You should not be quick triggering as a safety on a ball that's thrown pretty much behind the line of scrimmage. You can throttle down, all right? So when it is thrown, we can come and be closer and close that distance and make if it gets by all these, make a touchdown saving tackle, but you should not be driving. We're reading the quarterback, okay? Usually when you get a pump fake, the quarterback is still throwing to that same side. So he's not going to pump to his right, turn, and throw blind to his left, all right? So he's pumping here. And even though it's a fake, all right, he's still gonna work to that same side. So our eyes should be ready. I can't tell if he's has his eyes here, which he might, or if he's still viewing the quarterback. But either way, he's saying the quarterback's showing that he's throwing this way. And we do a good job because we have a throttled down pedal. All right, now we see where he's throwing the ball, and we can jump this fake screen up the seam. So I said all that to say this. We rock and roll just like normal football, just like American football 11 on 11. Rock and roll. I go from man responsibilities to man free. You go from man free to man responsibilities. All right, that's the same. All right, tempo your pedal. Make sure you have depth. Tempo your pedal to the drop of the quarterback. Quick game. All right, we want to start to throttle down. Don't go until you know. Do not go until you know. We should not be biting on any pump fakes. Good job staying deep, but tempoing his pedal. He either reads the quarterback to the seam or he sees the seam and then gets his eyes back on the quarterback and makes a play. All right, so that's 2 plays, and I'm definitely going to break down more CFL film. I don't want this video to be super long, but again, make sure you go to thedbnetwork.com, and I'm super excited to start breaking down CFL film. I'm not going to expose who the DB is because, as you can see, this is exclusive film, y'all. This is right off the iPad. All right, this is right off the tablet. All right, but good play here. All my Canadian guys, if you want some DB drills that I feel will translate to your sport, make sure you go to thedbnetwork.com. And then, guys, Americans, 11 on 11, safeties, nickels, cornerbacks, if you want to get ready to dominate your next season, if you want to get ready to go get a scholarship at these prospect camps, all right, with your speed. All right, running a good 40. We have speed drills. And then, of course, having technique and dominating in one-on-ones. Make sure you go to thedbnetwork.com.